Okay, what's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. We are looking at Mind Medicine, okay, MNMD. This is a mushroom stock, okay, psychedelics and cannabis. All right, everybody wants to get high. Those are hot stocks right now, and the prices are going up high. We have seen a recent big drop, okay, in MNMD. We saw a lot of big drops today across the market, and overall, many of the short squeeze plays as BBBY has lost most of its momentum currently. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that things can't pick up momentum, but I'm going to break down some of the very nice patterns. Okay. We had a very clean descending wedge on the pattern here. We got a super clean breakout above our blue breakout level. All right. Hitting our third bullish price target, right? Here's number one, here's number two, and here's number three. All right. We gapped up massively and went straight to our third bullish price target. Very, very juicy gains. Okay. So I'm going to break down the chart. Okay. I'm going to teach you guys some stuff about volume that you really need to understand. And then we're going to take a look at the Options Trading Tycoons Discord, where we actually got into shares. Okay. So if you look here, we are currently in the Options Trading Tycoons Discord. All right. And you can see here on August 5th, got into MNMD shares at 0.6189 cents a share. Okay. Gotta grabbed a bunch of shares of those super cheap, right? So you can see today it's at 81 cents, so still nice move up there, right? But we were able to come up and hit $1.17, $1.20. So that right there is 100% play on just shares. Okay, so if you want to join the Discord, the link to join is in the description below. All right, so again, I told you guys we're going to break down some stuff. So the Fibonacci extension is what I'm using right here. Okay. This is going to give me price targets based off a mathematical formula. All right. So that way I'm not jumping in blindly. I'm going to see where the stock price is going to naturally go to, right? The Fibonacci exists throughout nature as well as the stock market. And it's a really valid tool to really add to your disposal. Okay. What we need to do is zoom out to the weekly chart, okay? Because this is where I initially spotted the pattern, right? As I was looking initially on our weekly chart, right? So, I zoomed in initially to the daily just so you guys can see it a little bit clearer. And so it doesn't look like that big giant wick right there, okay? But we had some very nice stuff going on, especially with our RSI, okay? The relative strength index. So, what I want to highlight here, okay, is that we have a low, all right, and a lower low, right? That's very simple, okay? Low, low. Well, look here what we have on our relative strength index. We have a low and then a higher low, higher low, higher low, all right? And look here, we have a high, lower high, right? High, lower high, lower high, lower high. Look at what the RSI did. High, 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 high. So what we did was we started to form a little bit of a bullish channel on the relative strength index while the actual price action was forming a descending wedge. So we have a bullish pattern on the relative strength index combined with a bullish chart pattern on the stock price, okay, on the actual price action. All right. Also, what this is known as when you create lower lows but higher lows on the RSI, that's what's known as bullish divergence. So it also gives you an indicator that you may see some bullish activity in the future, right? So we're coming in as a technical analysis trader. We're seeing that there's tons of short squeezes across the market, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the highs and lows of this stock, right? The 52-week highs were almost $3, and this stock was down to 50 cents, right? So massively down, heavily shorted. And what we're seeing is so many stocks getting squeezed out of the market, right? So I'm going to pull up the weekly chart again, and we're going to go in and go ahead and give you guys a very, very important lesson on volume, okay? But volume by time, or not volume by time, right? But actually volume by price. The thing that most people are familiar with is going to be volume by time, which is this right here, right? And people look at the volume by day, by week, by hour, by minute, however they scale out. But one thing people forget to, pay attention to is going to be volume by price. Okay. So that's what all of these bars over here are, right? This is all our volume profile over here on the chart. Okay. So what this does is this going to highlight the areas and let us know where the highest amount of volume is by price. Okay. So we can see at the 1.4 is really the top of our high volume nodes. All right. Now I want you to look at where we topped out at. Look at where we topped out at, just under that line. Okay. Meaning that this is where all of the buyers and sellers are present. Okay. So price action is going to move from high volume node to high volume node, right? So we came down here, okay, to this super, super low volume area, and it didn't stay there at all, right? We quickly moved up very massively to our highest volume node, right? If we look on the 3-year weekly chart over here, these prices to the right, all right, from about $1.20, let's call it, over to 60 cents, all right, is where all of the volume, right, has occurred in the past 3 years on MNMD. Okay. You can zoom up and see that the next high volume node area, okay, is up around $3 to $3.50. All right. So just that right there lets us see, and we know that we can move from high volume node to high volume node to high volume node. All right. And that's what we saw. Okay. We came down to this area, low volume. All right. And it moved quickly back to an area of high volume. All right. And where do we face resistance? Right at that volume wall. Okay. If we were able to break past this, right, we would have skyrocketed even more up to the upside to the next high volume nodes, because this is a volume gap. Look at what the price action does in the volume gaps, right? So let's look. Let me draw a little box for you guys so it's more visual, okay? So here's our volume gap right here. All right. And I want you to note what the actual price action is doing, okay? Look at what it did in the past when it was rallying to the upside, quickly moved through it, right? Very, very weak market structure. When we came down on the downside and started selling off in that area, quickly moved through that area. Okay. We're going to zoom in just a little bit more so it's a little bit clearer for you all. All right. And I really want you to emphasize this and kind of just make it a point. Okay. So, we went over how, this was our area right here, our high volume node area. Okay. And the price just moves super, super quick through there, right? We just shoot up right through that, shoot down right through this, right? And at the high volume areas where there's lots of volume, that's where you start to see it chop and consolidate, right? We come down here to the high volume areas, okay? And that's when you're seeing some chopping, some action, really good price action, right? And then we see a big move to the upside, but it stays within our high volume area. It doesn't exceed out of it as it's facing that resistance wall from, basically that volume wall as resistance. All right. So that's all for today. Again, I do make viewer requests every single week. So if you want to see your stock in the next video, make sure to comment below. And what do you think about the market lately? Okay. Have you been able to catch any of these short squeezes at any of these crazy earning plays? Or are you just completely lost? Have you been dollar cost averaging throughout all of this? Or do you think that there's massive pain coming in the last half of 2022? So you're sitting on some cash ready to buy up the dips that you're planning on coming. Let me know in the comments below.